Can you hear us?
So what Scott's doing is he's waiting for this call. Oh, here it comes. Scott, can you hear us? Is
We can't hear
We can't hear him.
We're not hearing Scott. Scott, can you wave your hand so you can hear us? Yeah. Scott, thank you very much. This is Mike Foale, if you don't recognize me. Thank you for preparing this video conference. We'll work on our sound here. Give us one moment, please. So, Scott, actually, can you give us a... Yeah, you're not I can't hear you picking the mic or anything else. Scott, you know what we could do? I guess you're probably using right now. Perhaps, I don't know, if you use the flashcards? Okay,
How's your sign language?
This is very frustrating. It's happened to me a couple of times during my expedition. I don't think this is Scott's issue. I think probably it's our own.
Houston has a problem.
We got the problem.
London has a problem. All right, Scott. Morse code? The way this is achieved is this signal is going from the space station, which so Scott, some rest there. Yeah, right, let's start. Good evening. Yeah, we're hearing that, Scott. We are. We're hearing it.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. So Scott, while we get ourselves sorted here, there's going to be a first question from a lady who I think you know really well. It's Sarah Murray, a brilliant person who helped organize our lives in Russia for years and years and years. Made us go to school every day through the snow.
Hello, Scott.
It's Sarah Murray. Scott, no joy, no joy.
Can you hear me, Scott? Let me try your...
You can hear
me.
We could do the other
Yeah,
mic,
give it 2
right?
seconds.
Okay, hey, Sarah, can you hear me now?
I hear you just fine, Scott. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing very well. Good to be talking to you guys, and welcome aboard the International Space Station.
So we have a lot of lovely people here that have questions for you. I don't have any questions.
That's not true. She's got lots.
But I just want to say that it's great being a Facebook friend with you, and it's nice to FaceTime with you today.
Well, It's really my pleasure to do this event with you guys and to be able to share this amazing space station we have. And you know, it really is an amazing thing that we've built on this with this international partnership over here. I'm looking where we are right now, and it looks like, you know, let me get my glasses on. Hopefully I never lose these. Yeah, it looks like we're actually approaching the eastern part of China in darkness. So, you know, we're flying around the Earth here at 17,500 miles an hour, complete vacuum, and just doing some amazing research on board this orbiting laboratory. Right now there's only 3 of us on board, me and my 2 Russian colleagues. But next week we should get some other crew members, an astronaut from Japan, one guy, Kimya Yui, a guy, Chel Lindgren, an American, and Mikhail Korniyenko from Russia.
Thanks, Scott. We have a gentleman here who's going to ask you a question.
Hello, I'm David Castle from Mission Discovery. Despite all your ISSET training, what was the hardest thing to deal with when you're in space?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was hard to understand you. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What was the hardest thing you have to deal with in space, Scott?
Yeah, so the hardest thing to deal with here, you know, is I think the duration of this flight. My last one was 159 days, and this one will be well over 300, closer to a complete year. And the hard part about that is, maybe not the things you would think, or maybe they'd be obvious to you, but it's stuff like, you know, being away from family and friends, but also not being able to leave, not being able to go outside. You wake up and you're at work and you go to sleep, and you're still at work. Although the stuff you do is very interesting and challenging, and it's very important, it becomes somewhat routine, and you know, each day is like the next. And I've been up here, I don't know, about 110 days and have well over 200 ahead of me.
Well, I know you're not counting. So, Scott, we have another question.
Hello, Scott. I'm James. I'm a mission discovery mentor, and I'm also studying space physiology and health at King's. I was wondering, do you feel that having a brother who's also an astronaut has made spaceflight any more or less challenging for you in any ways?
I don't know that it has made it, you know, challenging in either direction, more or less. What it does provide, though, is someone to share what is you know, considered and is absolutely an amazing experience, and you know, something that a lot of people, many people, most people actually don't get to experience, at least right now. You know, we've had a little bit over, I guess, about 500 people that have flown in space, and to have one of them be my twin brother and be able to share that experience with him is very special. So, you know, I feel like I'm privileged just to be able to fly in space, but, you know, also to be able to share this kind of experience with him.
What do you think about the conspiracy theory that it's not you up there, but your brother?
Well, Chris, I am pretty sure it's me right now.
Good work. We have another question for you, Scott.
Hi Scott, my name's Alan Qureshi, I'm from Mission Discovery. I was wondering, what's the most interesting or unusual thing that's happened to you up there?
The most interesting thing that's happened here. You know, it's just a very tough question, because there's so so many interesting things. In answering a previous question, I didn't want to relay the sense that it's like mundane. It's not. I mean, the stuff we do is very challenging, very interesting. The science, and we're doing like, I think over the course of the year, I'm here 400 different types of scientific investigations in all different disciplines. One thing that was actually very complicated is we had this rodent research that is for some pharmaceutical companies that, over the course of a couple of months, we did some research and dissected 20 different mice. We've taken apart some of the hardware that scrubs the atmosphere of carbon dioxide. That took a bunch of days. We grappled a dragon vehicle and unloaded it, and then sent it on its way. Did a lot of work on the spacesuits. So there's just a whole lot of interesting stuff we do. But so far, obviously the one thing that stood out so far is the launch and showing up on the space station again after not being here for a little over or almost 5 years.
Thank you.
Hi Scott, my name's Danielle Callum, I'm also from Mission Discovery. And I was wondering how you cope with the mental struggles of being in space and in isolation for so long?
Fortunately, we have a pretty good connection with people on the ground. We have a telephone, we have email, we have the ability to do video conferences where you can actually see the other party. I can't see you guys right now, but sometimes you can see who you're talking to. I think part of it is the people we pick to do these kind of things, or maybe the type of people that are just, part of it is born in them, their ability to cope with long periods of isolation. It's not something that I've given a whole lot of thought to, but once I pace myself and try to maintain a certain energy level, so if anything does go wrong, I have the reserves to be able to respond to it. I have the necessary enthusiasm 200 days from now to keep doing some of the activities I've been doing for the last 100 and some odd days. So. But I think part of it is just the type of people we choose to come up here for long periods of time.
Thanks, Scott. I mean, if we could do it, would you be interested? There's about 500 people here that are all really hanging on your every word. If we could put the camera on them, would you be interested in seeing them?
You don't have KU right, so. You have video right now?
Well, we have KU down, and KU video going down, but we don't. There's no ability right now for me to be able to see you guys. Unfortunately, it's not set up that way.
Hi there, my name is Edmara, and I was always really curious. How do you cope with coming back to Earth? Did being in space actually change your perception on your life on the planet? Actually, thank you.
Well, coming back to Earth, there's many things you got to cope with. One of them is the physical reacclimation to Earth's gravity that affects everybody in some ways, but in some ways they're different. You're dizzy, you're tired, you're sore because you haven't really had to support your weight a whole lot, actually at all, and the stress that's put on you is just during exercise. But as far as it changing your perspective on things, I think people are affected differently in that regard as well. For me, two things come to mind. One is the Earth doesn't look all that big. Here, let me show it to you. But you're not going to be able to tell because I can't get the camera too close to the window. But the Earth really isn't all that big of a place. And, there are no political borders. This is over the Pacific Ocean somewhere. There are no political borders that you can see, and so it makes it seem like everyone's kind of a, you know, a citizen of one planet, planet Earth, versus any particular country. And the other perception is that the atmosphere that keeps us alive is very thin, and it's something that probably should be protected. And over the United Kingdom, it's cloudy a lot. That's a perception.
We showed that great shot of London that you took last week, and we opened up the this evening with showing everybody that picture. So it was, we did have one day when it wasn't cloudy. You're a testament to that.
Yeah, that was a great couple of days there. It was interesting.
That was our summer.
It was interesting seeing. I'd never seen London before from space for whatever reason, especially with that large lens. It was interesting to see how many bridges you have over the river there.
Hi, my name is Leonor. I was wondering, once you're back to Earth, how long does it take until you want to go back up again? Do you miss it all?
You know, yeah, you do. I don't know really how long it takes. One of my colleagues here, Gennady Padalka, has a good way to put it. He goes, when I'm in space, I wish I was on Earth. And when I'm on Earth, I wish I was in space. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, you know. It's, you know, this is definitely an amazing place, but Earth's got its advantages as well. But, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, probably within a couple of months of me getting back, I'll be itching to come right back up here again.
Thanks, Scott. We've got a young lady here to ask you a question.
I think what you asked is what happens if we run out of anything in the space station, is that correct?
That's right.
Well, there are certain types of things you can run out of, and you know, some of them you just would have to do without. Like in a couple of months, we're going to run out of any kind of breakfast food, so we're going to have normal breakfast. But we will just continue to eat the other stuff. So there are things you can live without, clearly, and but then there are things you can't live without. Like if we ran out of water, for instance, that would be a problem. If we, you know, ran out of our ability to scrub the atmosphere of carbon dioxide, that'd be a big problem. We wouldn't be able to stay here very long if that was to happen. Food, if we ran out of food. So there are certain things that we really you can't live without. Oxygen, water, food, and the carbon dioxide environment. The temperature has to be controlled. But if you ran out of any of those things, the things you have to survive, we would get in our Soyuz and just come home. But in the meantime, we'll conserve those things if we have to. And, you know, we'll do our best and we'll stay up here for as long as we can.
Yeah, hello. I just wanted to ask, we in London have a sort of 9-to-5 schedule. And I guess, I'm not sure what time you use it in space. And do you have 9-to-5? Say like, yeah, what's some me time? That's my own private time? Or you're always at work while on the space station?
You mean, what are my favorite things to do, and what time zone do we work on?
Well, what's your work day, Scott? You know, from DPC to DPC, and then the time zone you're working in.
Yeah, so you know, we work with a lot of control centers around the world, and the most, you know, they're in Japan, Russia, Germany, and the United States. And the most, I guess, convenient time for everyone is to work on Greenwich Mean Time. It's a balance between, I guess it's the best balance we can find. So we're on the same time as you guys, essentially. So right now, it is 7:30 in the evening, and we generally get up around 6:30 in the morning, go to bed, around 11 o'clock at night. So this is my evening, and after this, I'll be done with my workday.
Hi there, my name's Simon. Assuming you guys don't have to work like every hour that you're awake up there, what do you do in your spare time? How do you keep yourselves entertained?
You don't have a lot of spare time, especially during the week. I mean, we generally are working from the time I get up to, right around now, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So it's almost like a 12-hour workday when you consider all the other, not just the activities you're doing that are scheduled activities, but all the stuff that it takes, all the overhead, I guess you could call it, to just live up here and work here, including the amount of exercise we're required to do. So our work days are pretty long, but I would say, after dinner, around between 8 o'clock at night and the time I go to sleep, 10:30, I spend, a lot of time doing email. Like, a lot of it's work-related email, but some of it's personal. I spend time talking on the phone to friends and family. Sometime I'll watch, a TV show or a movie, or read a book. And then on the weekends, you have more time to do that stuff, but other stuff. I try to spend some time looking out the window and taking pictures of the earth and doing, public outreach kind of activities that we can do here, those kind of things.
Thanks, Scott. How much time do we have left of your time?
I think, Chris, Mike, we got about 10 more minutes.
Super, thanks.
Hi, I'm Maya, and this is Taya with your 10 students.
Hi, I'm sure this is a question everyone wants to ask. How do you go to the toilet?
You drew the jackpot.
Scott, these girls look so nice. So much sweet. You just wouldn't believe such a question would come out of these men.
Yeah, well, people relate to the things that they do every day. The answer I give is because everything floats, you just have to do it very carefully. So as you could imagine, you would need some kind of a system that moves stuff away from you, and it's basically like a vacuum, and it works pretty well. But let me show you. I don't have a toilet here with me, but I do have some pineapple juice to show you maybe a little bit better how stuff floats. And Mike, this stuff doesn't probably taste any better than when you were up here last time.
This is your bag, you're right. We have another question.
Do you engage at all with the Chinese space program? Would you be interested in working more closely with them?
So any kind of political tensions between the United States, and I guess you're saying between Russia, doesn't affect us on board the space station when we're in training. You know, the cosmonauts are very professional. They're our friends, our colleagues. You know, despite some cultural and language differences and the fact that they do most of their work on the Russian segment, there's no difference of me being up here with two cosmonauts than there is if I was up here with, you know, some American astronauts on the U.S. side of the space station right now. We rely on each other for literally our lives. We have to count on each other. So any, you know, differences that might exist between our countries, we just let you know, our people on the ground worry and take care of that. About participation with China, what I would say is I think the space station is a great place to form international partnerships and working relationships, doing things that are very, very important in a very challenging environment. And the space station is a great place to do that. So, you know, if the international partnership decides we want a country, whether it's China or another country, to come on board the space station, I would support that.
Thank you very much, Scott. We've got another question.
Hello, Scott. My name is Danny, and what kind of tests or experiments do you do up there?
What kind of tests or experiments?
I didn't quite hear the word before experiment.
Tests. Tests or experiments.
Okay, so, yeah, tests or experiments. So, we have, while I'm here, about 400 different experiments going on through the course of the year that I'm going to be on board. And they're in a bunch of different categories, but primarily, they're in 3 different categories. One is, the first category are experiments that's related to exploration. These are NASA sponsored or funded NASA experiments that look at how we want, what we need to do to be able to get people further and further away from Earth than we've ever gone before. And those things are how do we, as you know, the human physiology, things that affect that, how do we, you know, mitigate those negative effects, but also how do we build systems like, you know, a system that would produce water from our urine, and how, you know, can we make that system work for a very long period of time, or, you know, scrubbing the atmosphere of harmful contaminants, those kind of things that we need to do for further exploration. The other type of experiments are experiments that look to improve life on Earth. And of those, there's many, many different categories, from basic research in physics and, let's say, fluid research, fluid physics, and let's say if we understand maybe how to build a more efficient fuel tank. I was working on an experiment this week that is a fluid physics experiment. If you could build a fuel tank, for instance, that can use all the fuel, let's say for spaceflight, then you can get more mass to orbit for a lower cost, and you know, that improves technology and improves life on Earth, things like that. We're doing research with rodents to develop new drugs for certain types of diseases. So there's all different, those are just, you know, a couple of examples of all different kinds of, you know, improving life on Earth types of experiments. And then the third category of science we do is the science that's of an the international component, and those kind of bridge the, you know, cross between stuff that's exploration based, but stuff that also is more the Earth-focused research.
Scott, thank you. This was a great answer. And we have one last question from a young lady.
Hi Scott, my name is Alina and I'm from Trinity Academy, and I wanted to know, what is the food different from the kind of food that we have on Earth, or is it the same? And what is your personal opinion on the food that you eat?
Well, it's definitely not the same, because it's generally not refrigerated. We have a refrigerator, but it's really small. It's right here. And it's like, I don't know, the size of maybe like a backpack. And generally we put some medication in there. And we also put like condiments and things like that. So, and we don't have the ability to go to the grocery store. So most of our food, almost all of it, is stuff that doesn't require refrigeration. And it's stuff that has a very long shelf life. So it's mostly dehydrated food that you have to add water to, or stuff that's called what's called irradiated. So it's hit with some radiation to kill any microorganisms that would cause it to spoil. So it's a lot like camping food, and but you know, the people that make this food are really, really talented. And you know, surprisingly, I've been up here, you know, about I guess 110 days now, and you know, obviously I would like some fresh food. It'd be nice to go to a restaurant and have someone serve it and things like that. But it's pretty good. I haven't really gotten too sick of it yet.
Mike went to a really nice restaurant before he came here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He really enjoyed
it. Scott, you have, as usual, done an excellent job presenting what we're doing in space and the exploration that's taking place. You talked about the food, and you do seem to be somehow keeping track of the days. I know it would be roughly 180 days to go to Mars, roughly, give or take. Would you be willing to do this again and go to Mars with the food you've got?
Yeah, I don't really look at the food as any kind of a limiting resource, except the fact that it's available. But you know, going to Mars is a long trip, and you know, it'll take 6 months to get there, some equal amount of time to get back, and then you'll spend a good amount of time on the surface. So it's something that we definitely have to be, you know, put a lot of thought to. You know, especially with regards to our life support system. It would be really, it'd be really bad. You get yourself halfway to Mars and your toilet breaks, and that, you know, you can't produce water anymore from your urine, and the crew doesn't survive. You know, that kind of stuff. So the space station is a great place to learn about those things, and you know, we're continuing to press ahead and, you know, do this cutting-edge research with the hope of maybe some of you guys someday getting to travel to Mars.
Well, thank you, Scott. This has been quite amazing to see you. You look great. Just over 100 days in space. I think we should give you a round of applause.